Okay, here I'm talking about, not about fireworks, not about portable power stations, I'm talking about telescopes. And I love these things. I got this one a long time ago, like I say, in the 90s, and we took it out and I saw Andromeda with it. And this is from Orion. And I got it for like $150, or I think it was, if I remember right. So I said, man, I gotta get a Newtonian, because I've got refractors. The first nebula I've ever seen was like a F11. It's like the focal length is 11 times bigger than the diameter of the objective lens. Okay, and I never thought that would be possible, but it was a planetary nebula, and it looked just like Jupiter, with the same apparent size in the viewfinder. Matter of fact, I was looking at Jupiter that night, but I'll put a picture of it up. But wanted to get one of these because I wanted to see more the fainter nebula and stuff like that. So I got one of this, which is from Orion as well, and they were it was only $60 at the time, and it's a if we can read that. Get some light on it. Thing about Plossels is what they'll do is they'll give you more light gathering. They'll open up your field of view. Look at the size of that glass. Look at that glass on that thing. $10mm. Can we see that? 10mm, and it's a tiny little eye hole, but these are pretty good lenses. I was amazed. Is a bottle cap collimator. And what you do is you put that in here, and it helps you make sure that that everything's lined up. So you got mirrors in here. You got a secondary mirror up in here, and a primary mirror back here, which gets adjusted. Then I saw this one for sale, and I knew that the price on that one was going to go up. And this one's only a ½ inch bigger in diameter, which means more light. It's also got a longer focal length, which is a little bit more magnification power. And this is how this works. Pretty much the same way. The eyepieces that come with this one are lightweight. I wish I had my glasses on to see that. Well, that one I think is also somewhere around 17. Looks pretty good there. Very lightweight. I don't know how well they perform, but sure, they're probably okay for your first eyepieces, and they'll get you going. You can see what's, and then choose the actual eyepieces that you really do want. Okay, but this one here. Oh, this here is a little bit nicer collimator, but it does the same thing. You look in there, and you're able to get both of your mirrors lined up. So let's get that other eyepiece here. Actually, these eyepieces, they look like a nice big eye view. So, and this is hopefully there's enough light for this. You can see that. But like I say, with this one, with this telescope, I have seen the Great Nebula of Orion look kind of purplish, crimsony, if you will. You could tell it was a nebula. And I also seen the Andromeda Galaxy in this. And I was also using the original eyepieces, which also seemed to be working good, just fine. No complaints with that, if that's all I had up there. But I did have my big Plossel. So I got a wider view with the Andromeda Galaxy. I had, if you wanted to see from side to side, you kind of had to move it a little bit. But I also want to say something about the focus on these things. It works helical. It's a helical focus. That means it's like a screw. So that's how you focus there. You can also, to help you focus, first get your primary focus by lifting that up and then locking it down. So, and this one here is a rack and pinion, but this one I don't really like it. I think I just need to, because it's so old, I gotta recondition that juice, that lubricant in there. But it, when you go like this, it kind of wiggles the whole thing back and forth and stuff like that. For me, I'm just gonna, the way I would use this is, yeah, I'll get that cleaned up, get some new lubricant in there, but also use it as a helical. Get it in the range that you're looking for, and then do a fine focus using the helical on this. It's not designed for that, but there's plenty of thread in there for doing that. All right, this is Astronomers Without Borders. It's a Celestron telescope, and the proceeds from this telescope, like I paid $200. Half of that profit, or I should say, half of that cost goes to Celestron itself, and then the proceeds go to Astronomers Without Borders, which is a wonderful situation where they go all over the world, and they do public astronomy to places where people don't normally get to see astronomy. They use these telescopes. They have big telescopes, all kinds of things, but I like to see the proceeds from buying a telescope going to a nice organization like that. This one here is Orion telescopes, and their profits go to them, you know, and that's okay too. But it's a good company, and I stand by them as well. But Astronomers Without Borders, that's the way to go. You buy one of these for $250, and you've got some great portable astronomy going. Okay, it's a 6mm eyepiece, which is kind of surprising. I would think that they would put more like a 10mm, which the other one does come with a 10mm. 6mm, that's kind of high powered. which in a way it kind of makes sense because it's more magnifying. It'll get you closer to Jupiter and Saturn and Mars and the moon. 40 millimeter, that's going to be a wide angle eyepiece. You get to see more of the sky with that one. This here is this type of telescope, because it's so short, it's an F. That's an F4. That means the focal ratio is the focal length is the diameter of the objective lens with a distance of 4 to the eyepiece. So the distance from here to the eyepiece is 4 times the size of the mirror. Objective in any case, but being so short, this mirror is a paraboloid, which is like the pointy end of it kind of looks like the pointy end of an egg, but the longer one, and that takes a lot of machining, a lot of grinding, and a lot of precision work going on to do that right. This one here is also the same way. It's a paraboloid, but a parabolic is one that's easier to turn to a figure, because it's just a bowl. It's just a regular like the other end of the egg, the round part of the egg. And those are usually and you'll find those in the longer focal ratios, like F8 or bigger, somewhere around F8 or maybe even an F6. I don't know where that transition happens, but the closer it is to the eyepiece, the more of a whoop. This short paraboloid, this is a wide field. This gives a wider field of view of the night sky. When you have the longer focal lengths, those are good for looking at planets and specific little spots, little tight-in views of the moon. There goes my light. Now I do have a bigger telescope than this. It's about that long, maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, but it's a different type of telescope altogether. It is a reflector. It has a mirror down here that reflects up to a secondary mirror, but it also comes down and you can see through the end. It's called a Schmidt-Cassegrain, and it's an 8-inch by Meade. And yeah, that's a high-powered, long focal length, short-bodied telescope. But here's another closer look at this. This is kind of stiff. I think I'm gonna just remove all of that lubricant that's in there, period, and have it dry. I think that's probably the best way to go with that. But anyway, I'm done telescoping at you.